Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a sort of tidy up in the studio. I'm going to give you a little tour around of the studio because you don't really get to see this side that I'm in. You always get to see that bit. There's the Beast bike. That's the new name for the bike, it's the Beast. So I'll give you a little talk through in this side of things and how this works efficient for me, how I've got it set out. A little bit about the studio and the sort of build and how it works. Everything's to hand, as you know. I like everything sort of to hand, so I know exactly where everything is. It makes your working environment a lot easier and quick. There's nothing worse than hunting around for things and looking for things when you're trying to work and get stuff done, get jobs done. Make it as efficient as you can. So I'll give you a little pan round in here. So this is like the opposite side to that part of the studio. So that's like your paint side of things. And that's usually where you see all the filming going on in there and the builds and things like that. And then this side is sort of like the paint bit of room where I've got a bit of storage. This is all 100mm Celotex lined throughout the studio. So it keeps nice and cool in the summer. So when it's like 30 degrees outside, it keeps really nice and cool. The joists have got, you've got your 100mm Celotex and then you've got like a 2-inch airflow gap that runs through the ceiling in this, so the ceiling will stay nice and cool throughout the year. In the winter, temperature in here has been absolutely fine. It really is. This side of things stays nice and cool in here as well because I've got the 100mm Celotex all round. This is all boarded out, plaster boarded, oak flooring down the bottom here. We've got some cabinets built, so I've got a little bit of worktop here. So you've got your paint mixing pieces, bit of paint here, little storage cabinet for metal flakes, aerosols, things like that. And then below that you've got like your steel chest drawers with like your tools in and things like that, sanders. You've got an inspection window looking through, gun wall just here. So we've got Shazza back. I brought Shazza, the old girl, she's back. Then you've got Frank next to her, which I've done the review on in the booth at work, which is a great gun. We've got the Pro Light GTI Pro, and then we've got the Iwatas. I've just revamped the WS 400. So I've not used this yet in the booth, so I'm going to take this into the booth and give it a run. But I've just done all the body on this. I've engraved it all, Dremel engraved it, so it's all looking nice. And the actual 2 knobs on the back which do your fan and your fluid, they were missing when I got given the gun. So I've made 2 stainless steel adjusters and put them on, so that's finished that off. So that one's good to go. So I'll take that in the booth next week and we'll do a little blast through with that. And I've also got another gun which is a cheap budget gun. It's brand new. I got it sent out with a gun, so we're going to give that a go. God knows what it's going to be like, but that will be in next week's video. A few regulators and things, airbrushes, some of the ones that I don't use, engravers, a couple more airbrushes here, old school airbrushes, old DeVilbiss airbrushes here. A little bit of memorabilia on the walls. I'll give you a little talk through that. So we've got Scootering magazine. Trying to think of the date when this one, it was a few years, about 5-6 years ago this was done. Billy Bond's Lambretta, that's been completely changed now. The owner's changed loads on that, so that's as the original as it was when I did it, but it's not looking like that now. We've got the Custom Culture magazine. That was the first magazine that I got into, Custom Culture, Custom Graphics magazine. That was with Woodworm, which was a Fiat, and I've done that all in wood grain, so that's that one. We've got Mini World with a VTech Mini. I've done a bit with that. The owners are really nice people there. The guy who built this knows everything about minis. He built that from scratch. I've seen a lot of the build process along the way. So we've done the bonnet, the roof, the side on that one. So yeah, this is the small side of the studio. This is the bit like you don't see. We've got diesel heater tank here. And I've got like the temperature control things in the cabinet below here, so I can adjust the temperature in that side of the studio and turn and crank it up. So basically if I'm drying paint, I can just set the timers and things like that, and I can get like that part of the studio up to about 32 degrees if I need to. So you've got the door going through, we've got timer, so I've got temperature gauge on the door, so that shows you the actual temperature inside there. We've got like timer for settings, so when I do like a run a clear coat, I'll just come in here, hit the timer, 5-6 minutes, sit in here, and when the buzzer goes off I'll go back in and then hit the next coat of clear. Moving into here, this is going to get really bright, so I'll just pause you for a second, change the ISO, see you in a minute. Yeah, going through here, this is the side that you always see in the videos, so you very rarely see through and in there. You've got another door that side, so I can go out the studio that way. If I need to come in and out, I can go out that door there. This door, I've designed this door, I've cut the internal bottom inside of that door out, and I've put a aluminium sheet that can slide in and out, so I can block the back of that door off. So if I need more draw for the extractor, I can slide the back panel out of that door, and then I can draw some cold air feed in this way. You've got your extractor there, booth filters, and then you've got a cabinet behind that with extra filters inside. There's a fan to the top, 16-inch fan to the top, and then below that there's one of them really does pull. It's another electric fan underneath. I very rarely use that one, I just use the 16-inch one on there. I can turn that on and off inside there. You've got filters to the top, which are these. These are the very fine air intake filters, these ones. These, turn these, you can pull these down, take these filters out, clean them, and then you push the wires back up, the grids up, and you can slide the filters back in. Above these filters you've got big air ducts that run across the top, and the cold air feed, clean air, comes in from outside under the eaves of the roof, pulls along here from both sides, this side and that side, so when you've got the extractor on, it's pulling air down and then out. So you get quite clean work. It's very rare I get loads of nibs in my work when I'm working. You get a few. I mean, this is not a booth type setup, but it's as good as I could get it when I built it, but it does work. You've got your intake there for your diesel heater, so that's all an aluminium cabinet built outside. You've got your exhaust that's clamped to the outside, and that's like a flip up cabinet, so it's got an inspection lid, so I can get inside there and I can check the diesel heater. That runs absolutely brilliant. Really good way of heating this studio, guys. Cheap to run, and you can get the temperature. I've had it up to like 30 degrees in here, not a problem. And then if I want to just drop it down to a comfortable like 20, I can just set that in there and it will just tick over and just warm and keep this at a certain degree temperature, not a problem. Can leave it on overnight, it just ticks over, keep it nice and warm in here. If I want to dry some paint down in the colder months, not a problem. We've got the shelf here. This is what you've seen in some of the videos. That is a really good piece of kit. It hooks on the wall. That is an actual barbell for weights. So I used the bar, made it through the actual table, and then you've got your spin connectors there, and that can make different tables up, can make easels. As you've seen in my videos, that is a really good bit of kit, and that cost, the actual piece here, that was £1. This is like 18mm laminated MDF. That was £1 from a car boot sale. Couple of bits of 3x2 timber, all painted up, made, and it's worked wonders. It really has been an absolute godsend. We've got a little cabinet there that stores airbrush paints in there. You've got your air lines coming in, so it's all the high flow connects for the main guns. You've got a splitter there that I can turn on and off for airbrush. That one runs out, and then behind that wall, that side, you've got it's about 7 feet by 4 feet high compressor cabinet. And when I built that So that's on like a concrete floor. The compressor's on wheels. It's a 150 litre compressor, and then I insulated all the cabinet in 100mm Celotex, so it's all insulated all round. And then I put soundproofing in, and then there's air vents. So where the actual lid of the compressor shed is, you've got air vents, so the compressor can draw cold air in. Nice and quiet, you very rarely hear it. When you turn the compressor on, you can hear it sort of here, but then when you move up to the house and things like that and around, you don't hear it. It's nice and quiet, which works really well. So that's this side of the studio. We've got double doors here so I can get stuff in and out, so it works that way. A few pieces on the wall, LED 6 foot daylight bulbs, strips, battens either side, so nice and cheap to run on them. So yeah, that's the studio, guys. This is the one you see in all the videos. Cheap to build. It's done well. It was a converted 16 by 10 shed, so I made it into a slope roof and then designed all the ducting, the filtration bit, and it seems to work really well. You get bare sort of minimal overspray in here. The floor does get dirty. This is ready for a revamp. This floor was double lined in OSB, screwed down, and then I epoxied it, liquid epoxy, poured it on and sealed all the OSB, and then this has been floor painted probably 4 times after. So the paint on this floor is really thick, and I just give it a hoover out now and again, mop it out, and then just give it another coat and just keep coating it in the floor paint, and it seems to last. Works really well. You've got a nice little edging band there, and that's all sealed, so when I spray water down before I'm clear coating, it's absolutely fine. It's worked well. It's been up now probably 2 years, this build, and it's worked absolutely fine. It's all lined in scaffold boards, which were all creosoted, so they're absolutely fine. The roof on this is like a liner, done a big liner all the way around, and then sealed that all around the tops of the. It's been flashing, put all the roof flashing round, gutter into the back, water butt, which runs hoses down, so I can just drain the water butt to the front of the studio on taps. So that all works. So yeah, this is the studio. You always see this bit. We'll move back in here and I'll give you a little chat of what we are doing today. Sounds a little less echoey in here as well. Yeah, we're doing a little bit of painting. We're going to do a bit on the Beast bike today. I'll take you through some bits of that. We're going to get the tyre fitted, and fingers crossed, once the tyre's fitted, it fits back in the swing arm, because I've been looking at it and thinking, oh my god, that tyre looks a bit too wide. I've done measurements and tried to measure out on the actual wheel how much room I've got on the swing arm, but we'll see. I'll probably bring the tyre back on the rim and I'll put it in the swing arm, and it won't fit, it'll catch the frame. So it'll either be another tyre at 70 quid, or chop the swing arm down, re-weld the swing arm so it comes out wider. I don't know, we'll see. It's one of them things, you're doing a custom build like this, every step along the way is a think, a rethink, a double think, a measurement, another measurement, and you think you're getting it right until you get the bits delivered. You start putting it together and things go wrong, and cost goes up and up and up. So that's why it's took 5 months to get it to there. So yeah, a little bit of painting. We're going to be doing some 2K direct gloss. I've got some here, which is a Fiat white. We're going to use that. Gun wise, we're going to use the Black Flash primer gun for the epoxy, and we'll drop the direct gloss down with the GTI Pro 1.3 with the TE10 cap. We'll use that. That should be good enough for doing that. So it's a little bit of painting, not a lot, but I just thought I'd give you a little sort of buzz round in the studio, make a video. It's dismal outside, it's raining, so yeah, I'm basically going to be in here today until I have to nip out and get them bits sorted there. But yeah, we've got 2 days in the booth this week, 3 days in the booth this week, so 2 more sort of gun reviews to do. We'll do the WS 400, and I'm hoping that's going to work okay. I might need a new packing screw. I don't know yet. I tried a little blast through with some thinners and it seemed to be fine. There was no leaks anywhere up to 2 bar pressure, so fingers crossed it should be okay. I'll take it in and I'll take a backup gun with me on the day just in case, because that gun is really old. The painter at work goes, "Oh, I've got a gun for you, you can have it if you want it," and it was absolutely caked. He said he found it in his garage, stored under a car in the garage. It was on the floor. So I've cleaned it up, soaked it for a couple of days, sorted it out, got it sort of running. The fan pattern's sweet as. I've tried the fan pattern with a little bit of water-based black and just sprayed it into the filter, and the fan pattern's really nice. So it is spraying, but we'll give it a go in the studio. And as I say, I've got this other new gun. God knows what it's going to be like. It's cheap and cheerful, so it's going to be for your DIY sprayer, and we are going to try and get a good finish out on these fenders for it. So I'll take you through that. So that's me babbled on long enough. I will get set up in there. I'm going to dust sheet the Beast bike over because I don't want to get any overspray on that. I've got really nowhere else to put it unless I try and shoehorn it into the other studio, which has got a bike in it, which is being stripped down for parts for that. So yeah, I'm going to get a tarpaulin. We'll cover that over and we'll get some painting done. So I'll see you in a bit. Guys, I'm all set up. I've done a bit of prep, on this. This is a weird looking thing. I'll pan around and show you. I've just started a bit of the epoxy, but this is a frame that the elderly stand on. You pull a bracket there and it swivels round, the plate moves, and it's just like, if they've got like hips and they've got a bit of a disability where they can't turn, they can stand on that, and then the carers can turn them round and position them into a chair or things like that. So the actual plate was rusty. That's been sandblasted down, so I'm just pouring a bit of epoxy round here, and then we're going to 2K direct gloss white up to these bars here. We'll have a blue top piece, 2K direct gloss that, a little bit of epoxy on there just to seal them little breakthroughs. Job done. So enjoy the video. It's not custom painting, it's just a bit of epoxy and a bit of direct gloss, and then we can move on to the Beast a bit later on. So yeah, I'll stick it on the tripod, enjoy the bit of painting. That little time lapse, we've dropped the epoxy down on this. So just give it a coat on this raw steel that was round here, and then where it had broke through on some of these blue bars, I've just dusted up and just give it a little pass of the epoxy just to seal any breakthroughs on that. Let this dry down, and then we're going to go over this with 2K direct white gloss just to freshen this up, so it gives it a new lease of life because it was a bit rusty at the bottom. We use the Iwata Black Flash, the Air Gunzer. That's in a 1.8 setup for primer. It's just my go-to primer gun. Chuck I-build through it, epoxy through it, and then when it starts to spit and not want to spray, it gets chucked in a load of degreaser and thinners and just left to soak, cleaned out, and then away it goes again. So it does the job, guys. It atomizes, primers down nice, high builds and things like that. It gets the paint down, and that's what it's about in that sort of tip size setup. So we'll move on to the direct gloss. I'll set the next gun up, stick it on the tripod, and we'll just drop some 2K direct gloss down on this. So I'll see you in the next step. Right, that's going to be it for today's video, because I don't want to disturb all this bag on here and kick up a load of dust to land on this that's just been painted. So that's the 2K direct gloss on that. Gone down nice couple of coats, just give it a new lease of life. These bars were originally blue, as you've seen before, but there was a few little breakthroughs, so I just went over with some epoxy, just seal it down, and then just give it a lick of 2K direct gloss, and it's give it another lease of life. And my wife's work, the elderly, can use this again now, because they had the people come around checking the equipment, and because it was rusty, they sort of like went, no, you can't use it, it's a hazard, it's got rust on it. So they had it all stripped, because these things are over £500 for these pieces of framework here. Very expensive for what it is. So I said I'd paint it for them. This will be dry and go back tomorrow and they can reuse it. So that's the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed it on the little bit of the studio on the build and a bit of 2K direct gloss and epoxy. And I'll see you in the next one, which will be back onto the beast. I've just picked up two, fingers crossed, picked up two Hope 203mm disc rotors for the brake setup on this. So in the next video we'll hook the brakes up. I'm going to get the back tyre fitted on this tomorrow, let this dry off. So I'll get the back tyre on, so in the next video you'll see me, we'll get the brakes on, hopefully the seats turned up so I can mock up a cardboard cutout of the steel frame that I want, fabricate into the shape I want. So we'll get that done in the next video. So yeah, thanks for watching guys. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe, press that notification so you don't miss out on any more up-and-coming videos on DreadFX Custom Paint. Drop us a thumbs up, does help the channel grow, helps the YouTube algorithm, gets me videos sort of more up in search so more people can see some custom painting. Big shout out to all the new subscribers that have come over to the channel. And the comments, guys, it's much appreciated, it really is. And as you know, I jump straight back onto the comments and get back to you if you need any help with airbrushing bits or custom paint bits. Just drop the comments on the videos. I think that's about it. I think we've covered everything. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.